Tom Tancredo back with you with Cori and Andy Pate, Party of Choice, trying to convince the world that indeed the Republican Party, conservatives, really embrace the concept of choice. We are the ones that should own that territory. We've surrendered it for whatever reason, and they're trying to get it back. And God bless you in that effort, I assure you. I was talking about the kind of problems we have with the stereotypes each of us have of the other. You know, you talked about the one, the fellow you met in the gym, and Cori, and when you did so, he retorted after a nice conversation, and we went on for 45 minutes and getting along really well. He said, "Well, all white men hate Obama because he's black." Okay, there's a perception that these things are so hard to overcome, but I'll tell you how it works on the other side. I'm coming home the other day, beautiful day, get on Arapahoe Road, way out east, and come up to a light, and the window's down, both windows are down. My dog is sitting in the seat in the passenger side, and there's a guy walking down the street, a black guy carrying a gas can and talking on the phone. And I looked over, because the dog barked at him, and I looked over and saw him, and I said, "Hey, do you need a ride?" And he said, "Yeah, I do." Okay, great. So I got in the car, we talked, horrible traffic, so it took us 10 minutes to get to the gas station, which was about 6 blocks away. Process, he tells me about himself. He was a wounded. He's a veteran, had PTSD, all kinds of problems. Nicest guy you ever want to meet in your whole life. I took him. Not only did I take him to the station, I waited, got the gas. I drove him back to his car. I was coming home, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder what I would have done had I been in a different neighborhood and seen a guy who didn't have on nice pair of slacks and a shirt, and didn't look as clean cut and was black, and would I have stopped and picked this guy up? And I mean, you go through all those thoughts. I'm sure they happened instantaneously. I didn't sit there and ponder that while I was looking at it, but I'm sure that was working in there someplace, and I just said, "Hey, come here," and turned out to be this greatest guy, but I don't know whether I'd have done it under other circumstances.
But Tom, you just brought up the big point. The difference wasn't him; it was the circumstances. You're worried about the neighbor. You're worried about a dark neighborhood, not him. Yeah. It's dark out and all this kind of stuff.
Would you walk across the street if you saw? That's the old thing, right? All the time. If you saw a group of black kids coming down the street and they're, pants down to their knees and chains all around them, and would you walk around? Would you go to the other side, or not? And I think most people would say, yeah.
For me, funny thing is, I wouldn't, and it's just,
well, you're bigger than most of the people that you might come in contact with.
Well, here's the thing, and let's get into talking, about black liberalism, all right? And a lot of us get very provoked, very unnerved by black liberals because they're so provocative. And you know what? It's not just black liberals. It's white liberals hammering us about race, too. All right? I know because I used to be in that crowd. And we get really easily provoked. I got to be honest. They've never really bothered me much. The group that always bothered me was the environmentalist wackos. They're the ones that I can't stand.
How about black environmental wackos?
Haven't met one. But you're right. They have preconceived notions. I mean, they always think a lot of times that people think I like hockey because I'm white or something. I hate hockey. I love basketball. I'm an NBA fan. So whatever. But what I want to talk about is why. How do they see the world differently than we do, and how can we break through to them?
Okay.
All right. I want you to imagine that you got a set of glasses, blue glasses. In fact, they're tinted heavily blue. All right. So whenever you put on these glasses, the room and all the people around it look blue. But these are special glasses. You walk into a room, it's a dinner party, a lot of people in there, and when you walk in, above each person, you see a list of categories. Okay. This one is an Asian male who's teenager. This one is a black female. This one is a elderly white male or whatever. And it breaks down into categories every single person you look at. And imagine if you wore those glasses, because
they did that in the Terminator.
Yeah, yeah, and you're targeting them. Yeah, but imagine that you're looking at people with those glasses, and you immediately prejudge them and basically think, I can capitalize on this with this person, this with that person, and so forth. I got news for people out there. This is the way the left looks at people all the time. All right, you were gonna.
No, keep going.
Okay, this is the way the left looks at the left wears blue glasses. That's why it's, blue state. Now imagine you could wear red glasses, red state. Okay, and you put those on. Now you look at the same room. Above every person is a blank sheet of paper. This is why, because we're not collectivists. We don't break people down into groups. We look at them as individuals, and we want to discover every one of them individually. Now, does that mean that we on our side never put on the blue glasses? No, of course not. We're not perfect, but it's not us. And there's a big difference. Let me give you an example. Let's say a Democrat candidate panders to a group. All right?
Oh, no.
Not that this would happen.
I don't know if I can get my mind around
that.
It's
a ludicrous hypothetical, but let's just throw it out there.
All right.
Let's say a Democrat candidate panders to a group. Tell me this. Does the Democrat base mind? No, they love it. They don't care, and they don't even care which group. Pander to a group, divide them up, pit them against one another, divide and conquer. Okay, now what happens if a Republican candidate panders to a group? Goes soft on immigration, goes soft on affirmative action, goes soft on whatever. What happens then? What happens in conservative America?
Well, they are vilified.
They're vilified. Why? Because
turncoats.
We wear red glasses. We want people to be seen as individuals. Do we now and then put on the blue glasses? Sure. Does that make you a racist? No. That makes you a moron who put on blue glasses for a moment. Take them off. So when we talk about how to reach people on the left, I want to talk about how to reach them they're looking at you through blue glasses. Okay? I'm not just talking about, black people. I'm talking about black liberals. Okay? And keep in mind, the goal of people wearing blue glasses is always to get you to wear blue glasses. They want everybody to wear blue glasses. They want everybody to see people in categories and break them down into categories and groups and so forth. Why do you think that is?
Well, because, of course, as I say, there's an electoral advantage that they gain by doing so. You divide them up into camps, then you can go around at election time and create an electoral base out of all those folks.
Exactly. Either they are for you, either they see groups your way and they'll vote with you, or they see it the other way and you can point fingers at them and vilify. But when you wear red glasses and see everybody as an individual, that cuts them down. And so what I want to talk tonight about is how to keep the red glasses on and to cut through that.
But will they believe you no matter...
Yes.
I can only speak from my own experience, and in that regard, I can remember when I was pushing back in 1992. I gathered. I was head of the organization that gathered the signatures and the money, and we put vouchers on the ballot here in Colorado.
Right.
School choice. Right. And it was a universal voucher. Everybody got one, and they got the full amount of the state aid. State contribution to education. And you could take it any place, including a parochial school. And if you homeschooled, you could use it to buy all of your stuff, And I'd go to these churches, black churches, and I would talk about it, and they would stare at me, and I'd walk away, and I knew I did not make it. And I kept saying, I don't need it. I don't need a voucher. My kids they're actually out of school. But I know a lot of people that live here would like one, would be happy to get one. So this is why I'm doing it. You will be free of this lousy school. And I got nowhere.
But Tom, you hadn't taken down the wall yet. And by you, I don't mean you. I mean the Republican Party, the conservative movement. I'm saying first take down the wall that is between us and them. Then you can present things like vouchers. Let me give an example. See, there's something hovering over them and that has them believing that we can't. That we look at them and say, oh, my gosh, you voted 95% in favor of Barack Obama. You're a bunch of quota voters. This is ridiculous. Suppose you're faced with somebody wearing the blue glasses, right? Let's just say you're in that situation. What do? Here's where you start. First of all, remember, they were trained to wear those glasses. By the way, let me take a step back because this is important. The red glasses are natural. The blue glasses, you have to be taught. And here's what I mean. Look at babies in the crib.
Yeah.
And if adults are playing with the baby, and the adult can be black, white, Hispanic, male, female, old, young, the baby doesn't care. The baby giggles and plays the same. Why? Because we were born to wear red glasses and discover people as individuals, not prejudge them by those characteristics. All right? The red glasses are natural. The blue glasses aren't. So, first of all, remember, they were trained by other people to wear those glasses. So don't let them immediately put you off. All right? We have a big advantage. They want to wear the red glasses deep down. They do. Why? They're natural. Show them how great it feels to wear the red glasses. And here's what I do. Number one, avoid talking points. I don't unleash political talking points. That just makes them feel targeted. Be normal. You know what I talk about? I talk sports. I shake their hand. I say hi. I don't try to win them immediately. See, that wall went up over time.
Your wife didn't either.
I know.
She wasn't trying to win them immediately. She talked about stuff. You talked about nutrition and health stuff and whatever for 45 minutes. It didn't break down because at the end of the conversation, even though it was all went swimmingly, he said, all white men hate Barack Obama because he's black. Now, I don't know if he thought that only black people or women voted for Barack Obama.
He probably
twice.
did. He probably did, just because of the perspective that he was coming from. But also, it's important to remember, you're not going to break down the whole entire wall the first time, every time. Sometimes it's a process. So with him, even though he did bring up, hey, all white guys hate Obama because he's black, because I had built that rapport with him for about 30 minutes already, and we had found common ground and found some agreement on things, and we had discussed societal issues without talking politics first, and he and I saw eye to eye about the problems that were facing the inner city. When he said that, I was able to say, well, I have a problem with you saying that, because the people I know, and I know tons of them because I'm involved with conservative politics here in Colorado, they don't care that he's black. Really, they don't. They don't like the things that they are forcing onto society. And then he actually brought up the Michelle Obama school lunch thing. He's like, why is anybody upset about that? Because all she's doing is trying to help people eat healthy. And I said, exactly. And you and I agree that kids need to eat healthy and they need to get exercise, right? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, this is the thing though. Don't you want that to be an inward motivating factor so that the kids do it for themselves, so the parents do it for themselves? But instead, what's going on is that Michelle Obama is coming out and saying, you kids have to eat this, 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 and this. And people don't like the control that it's exuding. Well, that's what they don't like.
When we come back, we're going to find out exactly how he responded to that. So hang in there. This is Tom Tancredo, Cori and Andy Pate, KLZ.